See EMT, see medical services coming through. You see them being waved in. You see them walking by Karmelo as he's getting exited out to the vehicle. You see the EMT. They arrive fairly quickly, within minutes. All of this is happening within minutes. So they're there pretty quickly. You know what I mean? Kudos to that. But based on forensics and everything that happened, he would have needed to have been brought to a hospital very quick, Austin. You know what I mean? RIP to Austin Metcalf, This is a very sad situation, regardless of the fact on both sides. But, listening to some actual doctors that spoke about this and spoke on this case, they said that he would have needed to be shipped immediately to the hospital because that type of a wound, you have to actually break the chest cavity to go inside to repair the heart. So, and then you have also blood entering into the chest cavity and all these different things. They said if it was a lung, maybe it could have been fixed a little bit easier, but still in all, he would have had to get brought to the hospital immediately for him to have any chances of being saved. So basically that wound was life-threatening from the very, very beginning. Okay. Do I think that Karmelo intended? That's my whole thing. Do I think that he intended to go there to do that? I don't know, but I don't think so. I just don't think so. But you know what I mean? Because some people say that's the premeditation. But as far as him poking him in his chest, what result do you think you're going to get if you poke somebody in their chest? What result do you think you're going to get? It's like you poke somebody in their neck. What result do you think you're more time going to get? You're more likely going to unalive a person. If not, it's a good chance that you could unalive a person, poking a person in their chest or poking a person in their neck. So, some say proportionality, it was just a push, or whether it was just a grab, and Austin didn't have a knife and he had a knife and he used the knife as well. Even though when I go through Texas Penal Code 4603, and it goes into a knife that's that's 5.5 inches and things like that. I'll get into a little breakdown of that for you as well, so that we can see what's going on with that. But look, as far as the Texas Penal Code goes, they said one issue that people keep bringing up is this knife. Now, the Texas Penal Code 4603 prohibits possessing certain weapons in school, but ordinary pocket knives are no longer specifically prohibited based on the blade's length. Listen, Texas used to regulate illegal knives over 5.5 inches, but that law has changed since 2017. The knife in this case was reportedly about 3.5 inches. That means the size itself did not make it an illegal weapon under Texas state law. A legally prohibited weapon, right? So, however, though, the prosecution case wasn't based on whether the knife itself was illegal. The issue was the use of the knife during the incident and not simply possessing a 3.5-inch knife. So the fact that it was 3.5 inches doesn't automatically provide a defense for Karmelo. Possession and use are two separate issues. So as far as possessing the knife itself, it's not a legally prohibited weapon, right? But the use of it is what's called into question, okay? So I see many people talking about the knife, talking about knives being on school grounds. You'd have to go into Texas Penal Code 4603.03, which goes into the explanation of schools and where these type of weapons are prohibited from, right? Cool. I'm just trying to get through some of this evidence and just, we could speculate, we could do all the things that we think we want to do. But I just want to actually stick to that right now. Yeah, let's get to this. A screen share. Let's get into this. Right? Okay, cool. All right. Let me move this over so y'all can see it clearly. Boom. All right. Okay, this is the defenses though. Hold on. What am I showing? The prosecutions, right? All right, cool. I got you. Prosecution. Let's get rid of that for now. Okay, let's go into the prosecution slides, right? Let's go into the prosecution slides. Okay. So all of these photos was flipped and turned upside down. I had to flip them. Let me just make sure y'all can see them. All right, cool. So this is 58 slides. I'm gonna go through some of them because also on this slide reel is a photo of Austin himself, RIP to Austin Metcalf. It's a photo of him too, so I don't want to show that on this camera. I don't want to show that. So I just want to try to be as careful as I can to not show that. All right. So let's go through some of the slides though. I just want to make sure y'all can see it clearly, right? Okay, yeah, y'all can see it clearly. So we do see Austin coming in there. Big boy though, big boy, most definitely big boy. Little young burly fella. You can see he was going to be a bigger guy when he got older. You can see that he was a big guy though. 200 and something pounds, most definitely. They say Karmelo was about, give or take 130, 140. And Austin was about, give or take, maybe 210 to something and change, give or take. So we do see him walking in there. We do see Karmelo being exited out of the field. We do see a young, I think this would be a student pointing at Karmelo. This is one of the people that probably ran after him, or they say chased him or pursued him. Was it more a chase or was it more being pursued? Because it didn't seem like nobody was really confronting him personally, at least not physically. So, yeah, that's in question still. Another student comes to also point their fingers at Karmelo because he does stop in this area where these two people are in the middle of them by this gate. He stopped here for some reason. I don't know why he stopped here, but he stopped here for a minute. And then once he exited through here, he ended up running. And then from a run, he goes back into a walk. And then he's pointed, more students are coming and they're pointing fingers at him. This is when the little woman with the blonde hair, whatever, she comes in and a staff member gets him and brings him to the male coach. And he's the one that speaks with him and say, you might have just throw your life away if that boy passes away. Karmelo is visibly shaken. He hugs him, say, listen, man, you're going to get through this. Then Karmelo puts his hand around him and he's sobbing. And we see all of that within the footage. All right, cool. So they could see that this person is still behind him, regardless if he's running. So I'm thinking they would circle that person. See, this person's still pointing, trying to get others' attention, besides staff trying to alert these people and everybody else to say, yo, listen, get him, stop him, tell him something. Yo, tell him something they're saying, right? We don't have audio. Still pursuing him. Other people still pointing. This is the moment he's at a walk. They're both confronting, or not confronting, I would say, but they're both pointing, trying to get attention from be it students, be it staff, be it security, be it officers, whoever that's on the field itself. Still pointing. Around this moment is when the female staff member gets Karmelo, brings him to the male coach. So this is where maybe the weapon was. No, this can't be where the weapon was because this looks like the ground part where they're walking on. Maybe this is the area where Austin kind of fell to. Either or. It's between those two. These things are not listed. Okay, so we do have a message here. We do have a message here. Coach, can you tell Austin to put on his black shorts? Can you send this to all of our throwers? You guys keep leaving early, so just know you guys are probably not going to the district meet. You dudes never stay and celebrate your teammates, and you guys don't win. That's rough. So what value are you guys bringing to the team besides coming out and celebrating yourselves? Tell them it's from me. Yes, coach, I'll send it and I'll take their ish up Monday. We'll take Noah and Ramir to district. to the district meet. This is the actual message to the throwers. Okay, district meets of value, celebrating yourselves. Okay, Coach Bass. This was from Coach Bass. Okay, from Coach Start. Okay, so Coach Bass was saying something as well. So Coach Start and Coach Bass. Okay, same message. Same message. So Coach Bass has said, y'all turn y'all stuff in on Monday. We're taking Ramir and Noah to the districts, saying basically, you guys are just coming around monkeying around and you're not really doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you don't celebrate your teammates. So you're basically coming there for yourselves. But what reason would the prosecution pull that up? That's kind of seeming like Austin wasn't doing what he's supposed to be doing. Right? I don't know why they would bring that up. I just don't know. Okay, you and Rhett are on an early bus. Get the tent and whatever else we need. Set examples of how to conduct yourself today. Be a leader. Okay, so this is the message that we've spoken about. Be a leader to Austin Metcalf. I need you and Rhett to hold us down. I will be helping with hosting the meet, so I'm going to lean on my older guys. For sure, Coach, I got you. This is Austin writing back to him. And then he says, love you, man. Sorry I didn't say enough. Did he say enough as far as getting him to be in the meet, in the district meet? We do see the leader talk. Some say that Austin was being penalized before this and stuff like that. And this is why he was telling him to step up and be a leader, not in the sense of grabbing people and pushing people out of your tent, but just being a leader as far as being a role model to some of the younger guys. You can see it. I'm leaning on my older guys. For you to show them, listen, this is how we need to do, whether you training, whatever you're doing on the team, you know, even if you're not even playing, you know that you have people that's locker room people that can build up people's spirits and stuff like that. So he's telling them to be a leader, not in the sense of being violent, not in the sense of pressing somebody, but just stepping up and taking the initiative from the older guys to show some of the younger guys, you know what I mean, that's in the 9th grade, 10th grade, or whatever grade they are that's on the team, how to conduct themselves, how to be celebrating their teammates, and how to be having their head inside the game, you know? So it seems that way. Okay. They're actually working on something. Yeah, I won't go too much of that. There's some random EMTs is in there. Okay, let's get on by that. They blocked off the scene. The actual weapon on the bleachers. What's crazy is Karmelo's team coach did not bring their tent. And it came out to say that they didn't have enough manpower and people to put up their tents. What type of thing is that? If they had their tent there, then there definitely would have been no reason at all for Karmelo to be over there at all. Whether you want to factor in rain and say it's raining and Karmelo want to get out the rain or whatever the case may be, if their coach's team put out their tent, Centennial, right? Pull out their coach's tents, then maybe Carmelo's not in this situation. So I think that's negligent on the coaches as well. They're part to blame for this situation. They're part to blame for Karmelo and Austin, because I don't think they did their job. It's raining. You don't know the weather. You obviously know weather reports. You didn't check the weather. I still don't bring a tent, regardless of who can put it up and how you're going to put it up. Why don't you bring the tents? So coaching staff was most definitely negligent as well. They didn't bring the tent, talking about they have enough manpower. Sound like a bunch of farce to me. Here you go. The weapon actually has blood on it. Actual meat location, the tent. You can see the blue tarp is out now. They said that an officer on scene came and just grabbed the tarp and tried to throw it over the weapon, just try to conserve or preserve some evidence. Then he just reached for a book bag randomly because his book bags and stuff there. He reached for a book bag and put the book bag there to block it, to stop the tarp from blowing away because it's windy out there as well. Come to find out, just so happened the book bag that he actually put there was actually Carmelo's book bag. What are the chances of that? He grabs a book bag, just puts it there randomly. Come to find out, it's Carmelo's book bag that he's using to weigh down the tarp on the tarp, which is crazy. Just so happens, it's crazy. More scenes, the actual visual of the tarp. You can see that something's holding it down, weighing it down as well. You can see it's blowing. See, it's not flat, so you can see it's a windy day. You can see some wind rising up under this tent. I mean, this tarp. Yeah, he randomly see. You can see other book bags and stuff is here. Kids just ran and left their stuff. He grabbed a random book bag and it was Carmelo's. Imagine that. You can see something weighing it down still. Like I said, see this book bag was actually Carmelo's book bag. So that's crazy. That's under testimonies. So that's what I'm telling you. So anything I'm telling you is from testimony, me speaking with people that was in the court and them telling me stuff. So I haven't been speaking too much on the case. I've been talking about different parts of it, different elements. I've been waiting for more things to come out. I've been waiting for transcripts. I'm supposed to be getting the transcript sent to me as well. I'm still waiting on that. I'm in limbo. But I just want to get more down to the facts and not just speak out my mind and just say what I think emotionally, like I see a lot of people doing, you know? Yeah. Actual sneaker. This looks like Austin's sneaker, I believe. So I think he had on some New Balances, if I'm not mistaken. This is the book bag. You see the logo on it. We're gonna go into that. They're gonna show you it. See, the actual book bag that's holding down the tarp. Like I said, the actual weapon with the marker next to the marker, showing that they were trying to preserve the evidence. The actual marker and the weapon itself. That's a pretty decent knife. Whether you want to say it's a tool or multi-tool, which we understand that it had other purposes. I don't know if this one had the flashlight, but we do see a seatbelt cutter on this side. It does have, I think, like 6 features on it. So it's not like a Swiss Army knife that have about 12, but it does have about like 6 features. I don't know if this one had the light. I think it did because I've seen other people do an actual replica of it. It had a light on it. It had a seatbelt cutter, and I think it had the knife, and it had like 1 or 2 more features on it. So it had like a Swiss Army type of a feel, but it didn't have all of the things that you would think a Swiss Army knife had. Corkscrew openers and all this other stuff going on in there too as well. Filers. So you can see that this isn't a filer. This is an actual knife. It is 3.5 inches, but we know that the chest cavity is 2.5 to about 4 inches deep from outer chest to heart. So it's not, the heart is not that far from the front of your chest, from the outside of your chest. So this is why we could see that this weapon did puncture that. And some people was alleging or alluding to Austin moving with momentum towards Karmelo because Carmelo's also seated this whole time, going to lift him up or whatever, probably push him as well, you know, and this his momentum and motion towards him, plus Carmelo moving towards him, could be maybe a reason of why the knife hit him so deeply. Some people are speculating towards that. Those are speculations, right? We weren't there, so all we could do is speculate. I can understand or see how that could make some sense with the knife being 3.5 inches. I could, but we don't know. We're just speculating. You know what I mean? We're just speculating there. They show you the actual inches. It actually comes to the 3.5 mark. You can see that. They show you the other side so that this knife flips out when you push the or you don't have to push nothing really. You just flip it out one time with these 2 thumb whatever they call, like thumb flickers, whatever. Looks like Austin's coat. I could just judging by all the blood inside of it would be most definitely or most likely Austin's coat, even though we've seen Austin walk into the field from the entry and he had on just a long sleeve shirt, shorts, sneakers, and that's it as he entered into the meet. There goes the actual book bag. Like I said, randomly the book bag was picked up. It happened to be Carmelo's book bag. They're going to go into the contents inside the book bag. Inside the book bag was some Cheez-Its, a couple of like some crossword puzzles, some notes, chargers, a pick, like an Afro cone pick as well. They're gonna zoom in on it. Some Aquaphor, some keys, some what's that? Car keys. He had a car. You know, young people drive. He's about 17 years old. He probably was driving a car. Um, Crosswords. They go to snacks. They go to actual pick that he had in his book bag as well. Um, Looked like it's just like a blueberry muffin. I don't know what this is. Is this a shiesty? It's a shirt. I don't know what that is. A receipt for something, a pen, a little diamond chain, maybe an earring or so. Could this be an earring or maybe like a key chain or something? Looks pretty rusty, so that's why I don't say it's an earring, but could be an earring. Could be an earring. His actual hoodie with the blood stain on the hoodie. They put a marker where the blood stain was on his actual hoodie. The actual blood stain. The back of the hoodie. And when the officer said that, hold up, yo, you have a little blood on your hand right here. So please try to lean back right here. Stay right here for a second. While he cuffed him, he actually took a photo of that. And you can see that the blood was on Karmelo's hand. Is Karmelo left-handed? Did he stab him with his left hand? Is he right-handed? Did he just get to the weapon mad fast with his left hand and stab him? Is he right-handed and did this with his left? Is he left-handed and stabbed him with his left hand? Those are things that I would want to know, you know, because that could just show immediate, like you're just grabbing something, just hit a person with your left hand. When you right, normally you want to grab things with your right hand if you're right-handed. I didn't hear no defense speaking about stuff like that. So, hey, maybe he is left-handed. So my mind just thinks out the box like that. But I think I'm